Good morning. I was having a microphone problem there for a minute. Goodness. I am so glad you guys are all here today. I brought with me something I love that makes me think about home, because we've been talking these last couple of weeks in church, we've been talking about home and what that feels like, right? And so I brought this. The best thing about this is, Keegan, you're probably going to be able to the most. Can you smell it?
Yeah, I could smell
Can you smell it just right here? Yeah, this is a fresh loaf of bread that just came out, and then I squished it. But a fresh loaf of bread, does it smell so good? Does it smell so good, Kinley? Can you smell it? Oh my gosh, those of you at home, I'm so sorry. We do not have smell-o-vision, but it is so good. This is a loaf of bread, and I have to tell you, when I was growing up, when I would go to my grandma and grandpa's house and stay there for a while, bread was something that was always on the table at our meals. And specifically this bread. This is my grandma's recipe. So it's like my favorite bread of all. But it was always on the table. And Grandma would make it homemade. So she would have days where it was bread making day. And when I was growing up, there weren't such things as bread machines that you could just stick it in and let the bread machine do a lot of the work. My grandma had to do all the work, so it would be like an all-day thing, because she'd have to knead the dough, and then she'd have to let it rest. And then she'd have to knead the dough and let it rest. And knead the dough and let it rest. Until finally she had beautiful loaves of bread that we had at every single meal. And so when I think of mealtime at Grandma's house, I always think of bread. So that also makes me think of home. Have you ever heard the term, let us break bread together? Have you heard that before? Well, it means let us come together. Let us eat together. Let us share together. Because you know what? When we're sitting at the kitchen table and we're eating with other people, and it doesn't even have to be the kitchen table. Maybe it's a table out at a restaurant, but you're out with people you love and people you care about, and you're sharing food with them. It often feels like a time of great love, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's our time to be together and share. Jesus, in the Bible, there's lots of stories where Jesus actually sat down with people and he ate with them. I think that was probably because that was a great time for him to share with them and to teach them. And do you know what Jesus taught? You know, we think of Jesus, and he was an amazing teacher who came, but he taught pretty much, instead of coming and giving us lots and lots and lots of rules, he taught us to do one thing, which we do really well, especially in my family at the dinner table. And what do you think that is? What's that one rule? What should we do? You're right. We should love. Jesus came to teach us a simple lesson. He taught us to love other people and to share his love with everyone around us. And so meal times, when we can break bread together, when we can share food with other people, it's always a great time to have conversations with people, to share with people. And that's what we're going to do after church today. People brought all different kinds of breads for us to share here at church. And then there's also this scavenger hunt to go around and get to know people. Because that's what we do when we come together and we gather together and we break bread, we share food together, is we get to know each other and we get to share love with other people. So this week I have a challenge for you at school. You break bread every day at school, right? You have lunch, you go to the cafeteria, you have lunch?
Yeah.
I want to encourage you at lunch this week. I want you to try and talk to and share your love, because you're so good at it. I want you to share your love with at least one person that you don't usually talk to.
I do that every
day. Do you think you can do that? I'm so glad you do that. I want you to try and reach out to maybe somebody that you don't know or somebody you don't usually talk to, and share your love, share God's love with them. Mealtime is a great time to do that. And I am so thankful that you are all here to break bread with us today after church. And you know what? We might even have to snitch a little bread during Sunday school. What do you think? Yeah, I think that sounds like a deal too. All right, before we go back to Sunday school, let's fold our hands. Good morning, God.
Good morning, God.
We are so thankful to be here.
We are so thankful to be here.
With our church family.
With our church family.
And many friends.
And many friends.
Both old and new.
Both old and new.
Help us. To reach out.
To reach out.
And get to know.
And get to know.
And share your love.
And share your love.
with those people in our world who we haven't met yet. We want to be your disciples. And love as you loved. In Jesus' precious name. Amen. All right, friends, we're going to head on back to Sunday school.